So I cannot spend any more time trying to make this video work. I don't even have any words at this point to to tell you how many times I've tried to shoot this silly video for a junk journal group that I belong to, that probably no one will even look at, yet I am on 687 hours of trying to get it to work. So there you go. I don't know what that says about me. This is an Alice in Wonderland junk journal that I've been collecting material for the last year. The more I found, the more excited I got to make the book. I don't know what it is. It's something about the color and the whimsical theme and just the characters. It all just really, really intrigued me in terms of putting a junk journal together. So much so that it is massive. And so I needed to take things out of it, but I just couldn't decide what I would take out of it. And so now I have to live with the decisions I've made because it's massive and doesn't close nice, but filled with just stuff that I love. So what does one do? You end up having a really big book. What else can I say? Okay, so this is a hidden spine with some Alice collage. The image on the front I really love. There's so many amazing images that you can find from content creator, just all over the place. This one in particular I really just fell in love with. I made a timepiece that is detachable for the front cover that slides into a see-through pocket so it doesn't hide the image below, as well as a key. And when I was planning the book, one of the things that I knew I wanted to do was include somewhere material from Lewis Carroll, the author. So part of the process of doing this thing that I love so much is creating these journals is to think through sort of the fantasy behind it. So in my mind, this would be a folio that Lewis Carroll, the author, perhaps would utilize throughout his life to include key documents that he'll need. So as an example, in the correspondence section here, you'll see that these are actual documents written by Lewis. You can't even imagine probably everyone can imagine. There's just so much material on the web. You can get pretty much anything you want. So these are actual documents in his writing. And that there's postcards and whatnot in the correspondence section. Also, I wanted to include components of his manuscript. So in the manuscript section, there are, not only is there a page from the original manuscript itself, there is some sort of chicken scratch when he was actually writing the book. That's also from him, included in that section. And then I wanted to include perhaps some travel documents that I could imagine that he'd use throughout his life, and a picture of Lewis Carroll, which is here, as well as an Alice in Wonderland picture. This, for all my non-junk journal friends, you will think that I'm crazy. For my junk journal friends, you'll think it's pretty cool. I don't know what it says about me. I just geek out over paper. I love paper. I don't know what more I can say about it. But this started out as a piece of craft paper, and I sprayed it with high gloss primer and or sealant, I should say. And it created, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it created this glassine material. So it looks very much like a piece of vintage glassine. I cannot tell you the thrill that I got from creating this envelope. Again, people might think I'm crazy. What can I say? I am a dork. What can I say? Okay, so these are some just other materials that I imagine that he would collect throughout his life. And this is his actual signature. So then we get into the main book. And it's quite large, as I said before. So this particular image, it's a very primitive Alice image that I also was very fond of. I generally speaking lean towards anything vintage, as you can probably see throughout any of my junk journals. So this really kind of spoke to me. There's also many other more whimsical colored pictures that I also included in here, but this one I really loved. I did some collaging. There's lots of dangles in here. When I was planning what I wanted to include, this particular theme, more than others, I wanted to incorporate a lot more fabric and stitching than I had before. I'm not quite sure why. It just seems to me like the fabric is just makes it a little bit more whimsical, makes it a little bit more feminine to go with Alice in Wonderland. This is a mixed media card that I painted, and you can see like there's lots of stitching throughout. There are some flips throughout with some vintage ephemera advertisements and such in there. A lot of hidden pockets, more than there should be. I just could not stop putting in hidden pockets. This is a tag, a journaling tag that slides in there. More just ephemera, pulls out. Some really beautiful book pages that were incorporated. Some tracing paper that I printed on. This is probably going to be one of my new favorite things for a while. I loved it, and I've never included it in a journal, but I probably will going forward, which is an accordion file holder. I had originally intended to stuff it with all sorts of goodies, but as we've learned, I can't control myself, so there's not enough room in here to actually add anything else. So there you go. The recipient can do with it what he or she pleases. More dyed paper, tea-dyed paper, some more journaling cards. See more fabric, beautiful paper from Emma Parrish throughout this book, and dangles, a little bunny dangle. This is a fold out. Some just vintage documents throughout, more journaling cards, more tags. Another card. I incorporated an actual page from an Alice book in here. There's so many different versions of the story that it's kind of a mixed bag, but I suppose it can't all be historically accurate. This I really liked. It's a Wonderland map that I got and then watercolored, so it has all of the places depicted in the story on here. A journaling card, another journaling card with some beautiful Emma Parrish paper, some more vintage documents. This is the middle of the book, so I knew that I wanted to include a folio in the middle of the book to be like the centerpiece. So that's great and wonderful in theory, but then you put it in the middle of the book and it's adds just insane amounts of bulk. So again, I'm living with the decisions that I've made. So it came out great. I love the way it came out. Holds a lot of playing cards and library cards and mini notebooks, postcards, all sorts of stuff. and then it ties. So it's sewn right in the middle of the book. This is an altered mini file folder that I also, again, use lots of ribbon. I think probably for the first time. I'm not like a super ribbon fabric-y type of girl, but for some reason, again, this theme, just ribbon and fabric, just spoke to me. This is a journaling card. I really liked this particular one. I love that graphic with the back of the bunny. I also liked the black and white, sort of interdispersed with all of the color that's in the rest of the journal, and I like this vintage illustration. Here's another one. More journaling cards, more tea-dyed paper. This is Alice Behind Closed Doors. This is correspondence, a bingo card, a playing card. More journal, notebooks. Decorative paper. Another journaling card with a just postcard underneath. Belly band. Another card. This I thought was cute. It's actually Wonderland money. Super cute. And there's an old-fashioned Polaroid picture on the back and a postcard. This is another accordion folder. So not only did I have to stuff the first one in when clearly I couldn't include anything in it because it's so bulky, I had to add a second one because I can't be controlled. So there you go. I'm not going to open it because it's empty. It's just like the first one we looked at. This is the Mad Tea Party page, and so I knew I wanted to include altered tea bags. So there's two of them. They came out super cute. And they're held in a glassine envelope. Another journaling card. A paper doll. Another journaling card. Another great illustration. Tea-dyed paper. And then last but not least is one last, because I didn't include enough notebooks in there, representation of what I would imagine would be just a notebook that Lewis would carry around and jot notes in, and just use for, when he's brainstorming Alice in Wonderland. That's it. Thank you.